Hello guys, Luie here again. Today I'm here to provide you a guide on Garou and Gouketsu. In one video, I didn't feel like it needed to be two since just be a lot more to do, but as we see in the news lately that Garou and Gouketsu are coming next month, but we are not sure what they will be because it seems that the devs are hiding it from us right now. So either one could be wheel or hero backup stick. There's no real answer. You can see Infant, mainly the only one that tells us anything, and by now we should have received a hint from them telling us who's coming who next month, but nope. Here you can see where CK and King on a Taiwanese server released as a dual banner. You only get 36 tickets and they got compensated 10 tickets for this, but you can see they have their own pity system, but when they do the keepsake, it's on the same thing, so you'll have to do 2 rotations to get 1 CKs, then the next rotation to get Kings as well, which is quite expensive considering you are wasting 180 to get each, then more if you go for awaken 2. Here it is Garou. Basic attack, 4 hit single target, 120% attack, ultra ultimate of attack with keepsake 1200%. When Garou deals crit damage, triggers breakthrough condition, or with keepsake you don't need crit damage to trigger this. Breakthrough is quite new. It's a new feature that we've never experienced, which is when a character's in an unyielding state and they get hit, they automatically get out of their unyielding state, basically countering most characters. It's a soft counter towards Atomic as well, but triggers once every attack. After triggering breakthrough, recover HP by 50% of max HP. That's with keepsake. And you can see the videos provided down here below, little examples of what to expect if you pull for Garou or Gouketsu, whichever one that you guys prefer, but I'll tell you later on. Passive skills. Passive: after any character's action, remove stun from himself. After any ally's moves, launches ultimate follow-up. 50% damage and effect of ultimate, so that's 50% of his own ult damage, to a random enemy that is in specialized unyielding state up to 2 times per round. 5-star, 60% of ult damage. 5P, 70% of ult damage. Not much, but it's quite a bit. Awaken passive. At the start of the match, Garou obtains 2 unyielding effects of his 50% of his max HP. Once the number of yielding effects is reduced, Garou obtains specialized guard, which is unaffected by the HP reduction that Atomic Samurai does due to it being a separate HP bar, which he obtains of 800% of attack. Removes damage stackable with extra HP effect. Accumulated damage removed will not be more than 15 times of his original HP. And with Awaken 2, once allies unyielding effect condition has fully triggered, Garou obtains specialized guard by 600% attack up to 3 times per battle. This is how you want to build Garou. At the beginning, you might want to use a crit rate shirt, but later on when you get his keepsake, you don't really need a crit rate shirt since you pretty much should have some crit rate on your buff gears. But it depends on your roles and how you've been preparing as well. But the basics: hero buff gear, you want triple % attack, a flat attack. Martial artist, you want 3 times damage rate, or you want the 60% crit attack directed back to the main target as well. Flat, you just want as much attack as possible to maximize his specialized guard. If you can't make fiery or DK sit, it's best to go for just stats instead. Don't try to sacrifice your stats for sets. Never what you want to do. For sigils, pretty basic: heart sigil and swords, and maybe a single piercing sigil that's level 7, but if it's below, I wouldn't use a piercing sigil. I just stick with a heart and sword. Here's basic. You want the crit rate, crit damage, the HP and attack, also the ult damage boost as well. Then everything else is just optional if you really want it. Pretty much you complete the tier 2 while trying to complete the tier 3 main objectives. Should you pull Garou? I mean, for free to play, low spenders and mid spenders, I'd say no. But for Wells, you can pull him. Keepsake, but no A2. It's not really mandatory. But for Leviathans, it's mandatory to pull all of it. Since you might as well, since you are rolling hard. But for Wells, it's not really mandatory to get to A2. It'll be nice, but it's not that much of a big difference, honestly. The pros of Garou, mainly for PvP, but also great for PvE cases where you have an enemy with unyielding state, meaning like basically like Crescent Tower, ECC, and future modes like Mastery, where they'll have unyielding state. They'll just, due to Garou's breakthrough, it'll just take them out of their unyielding state, allowing them to be hit again, which is quite helpful in PvE. Counters AS in a way, since AS plus with keepsake increases unyielding state +1, but Garou instantly just removes the unyielding effect. Yeah, that is extremely good. If you're facing a person with just atomic, you're instantly winning with Garou. That's how it is with each new character. It just replaces the old, slowly whittling him down. That's just power creep. And also removing stun on himself only, which is quite okay, but due to it being a 2 characters next month, it's alright. It's not really a big difference. It's not really a game changer. You'll see later on. But cons, you need Keepsake and Awaken 2 if you want to maximize his potential. You have more competition for EB extreme training slots if you pulled Atomic King. Yeah, rerun King, that'll be quite hefty along with Atomic. And as well if you pull Goku. Grappler slots are very competitive. And DSK Plus, that's upcoming with DK Core in the future, due to depending what they do, we're either moving forward and after this month, the upcoming month in June, that's when Flashy Flush Plus will release. Unless Goku is real and they put Phoenix Man on banner, then it just stays normal, but it will just be altered a bit. Goku. Attack skills, basic attack, 120% attack, single target, ultra ultimate. With Keepsake, you increase crit rate and crit damage by 30%. Attacks enemy in a column with 3 consecutive strikes, dealing damage of 150% of attack and 42% of max HP. Then with Keepsake, it's 180% of attack and 54% of max HP. Can trigger breakthrough, which cancels out specialized unyielding and normal unyielding. It's once per target in an attack, so the main target in the column. It does not affect both. Passive skill. When battle begins, permanently increase self max HP by 100%. Recovers 50% of max HP, basically another CK. Before the next round begins, recovers 50% of max HP before any unit moves. Also, the biggest game changer, makes it a lot better than Garou's, is that he removes stuns on any ally, basically making Gelwin irrelevant now, along with Metal Bat, since if you're getting both, Metal Bat's out and so is CK. But with 5 stars, you recover 70% of HP before any unit moves. Then it's 90% of max HP before any unit moves. But also, it's only 2 times per round, but then with 5P, it's 3 times per. And also, Garou's passive doesn't interfere with Goku's passive. Awaken passive. When battle begins, summon 1 crow, 400% of Gouketsu's original HP. One of them will share 85% damage for allies in Gouketsu's row. After consuming all HP, deals extra damage, which is basically bonus damage, by 30% of its max HP to 3 random enemies, which are not in an unyielding state. But also, if there's a character in an unyielding state, or they get killed towards an unyielding state, they get reduced by 2 actions. Basically like an atomic ult without the HP nerf or the 40% attack nerf as well. But with 8, it's just Boros, but more tankier and a lot better, since Boros is just random and it's not really precise who gets the bonus damage. But with this, is more precise and it's much more effective in reducing their unyielding states. More than one person in the enemy team. How to build? Well, you can do 2 routes. You can do a DPS Gouketsu or a tank Gouketsu. But for what I've been seeing, a DPS Gouketsu is not as good compared to a tank Gouketsu. A DPS Gouketsu doesn't look like a Kimu. One shot an Atomic Samurai due to Atomic Samurai passive. By now, most people will have Atomic Samurai 5P, meaning they'll take 80% less damage of non-crit damage. So you'll need a crap ton of crit rate along with crit damage, which will interfere with your maximum HP output you can do. Also reducing your crow's damage, bonus damage they can do, and your tankiness of your team overall. Personally, I will do a tank build because it keeps your team alive longer, and also you have the chance of unyielding multiple characters when they pop your crows, reducing their unyielding state by 2 actions. You basically just want all HP and 3 bonus damage for the crows. But if you're going for a DPS build or want to try, crit damage rate will be your best bet instead of bonus damage. Along with 3 crit rate. Most characters now require crit rate to hurt an atomic. It's quite hard due to most players either running bonus damage red or having high enough HP where their bonus damage doesn't affect them as much. Also the same, go for stats, not sets. Never do that. It's the worst way you can play the game. I know it's nice to have a set, but it's not the most optimal way to play the game at all. So support sigils, go for hard or chaos or sword or piercing. Chaos due to just having Gouketsu tank a lot more. Then here for the required nodes you want to do for the talent tree is pretty similar to Garou. You just want to make them tankier and have a lot more attack. As well, upgrade his crit rate, crit damage, and his ult damage boost as well. Everything else is just optional. It doesn't. Well, you could also do lifesteal rate. It'll help a bit, but depending on who you focus more, that's who will carry you a bit more than that other. Should you pull Gouketsu? Pulling Gouketsu, you have to fully commit. You can't half-ass it. Like, for me, I pulled Boros A1, and it was very hard to win against a Boros A2. Even though my Boros at the time had 2 mil attack, and their Boros may have had like 1.5 mil, they were still able to beat me due to them having a second minion. The second minion's bonus damage was critical to me losing. If I had 2 minions instead of 1, I'd have the higher chance of winning. So it's basically mandatory. You can try to do 1 crow, but you wouldn't have a fun time facing another Gouketsu who has awaken 2. It's pretty much the ball game. You have to have awaken 2 with Gouketsu, along with keepsake, free to play skip, mid spender skip, wells pull A2, and keepsake along with leviathans. But the pros of Gouketsu, there's not many cons. Gouketsu is an overall really strong character in most modes. Able to trigger breakthrough and counter to many units in Garou's core. Also, crows nerfed by 2 actions when they explode. Team support by sharing damage via his crows as well, making everyone tanking. Yep. Has synergy minions with Garou, and if you're intending to get Garou as well, which is good. Also, for those who want to implement Boros in their lineup to be even tankier, that is possible. But whichever character is the strongest, their minions will absorb the damage first. So let's say that your Boros is stronger than your Gouketsu, and his minions will absorb all the damage, and they will pop, unyielding whichever character is still alive on their team. Then the crows will then absorb that damage that starts coming through, and they'll pop as well. So whichever character is stronger, their minions will take effect first. They do not stack together at the same time. It is one at a time. Along with cons, meta life not as long due to changes. Yeah, due to changes, Gouketsu's lifespan is quite a bit, along with Garou's. Because later on there'll be more viable characters that you want to use. Like Garou, sooner will be the most likely to get replaced than Gouketsu. Gouketsu will still be used till like DSK Plus, but after that, after he comes, that's when he's out. PvP unit and some PvE. PvE is quite helpful, but due to most of us pretty much lacking in damage on the hero side due to core, none of us have really experienced any falters in our villains team. Some have, but some haven't. As I am stuck 49 and 34 on Crescent Tower. And with Gouketsu, it wouldn't really help me since he'll be villain, and my team that's struggling is hero. So me pulling Garou will be a better choice for that. And also, you have to keep in mind that you have to pick for mastery in the future as well. You have to keep track of the pulls and the characters that you need, and characters that you're going to build in the future as well. Depending on how Gouketsu is put in the banner or wheel or backup stick will determine me pulling him. Here are some teams: Wells and med spenders. You can see Awaken 2 or 3 Garou, Atomic, Boros. Then there's Gouketsu, Garou, and Garou. Simple enough. Trying to optimize the minion absorption. That also helps survive getting one-shotted by Atomic. Along with, it'll be quite a long battle again. It would be like when CK was dominating. And down here, instead of King going for a full tank build, going Atomic, Garou, Gouketsu, Boros, and CK, and Garou, taking advantage of all the bonus damage that you can inflict, along with CK tanking a lot more and not getting one-shotted by Atomic users. Most Atomic should one-shot a CK if built correctly, but some do not. And here, if you just want to pull Garou, have Metal Bed in front of Atomic, then King, CK, have Garou in the back. You want them to go second. Atomic is still the main character in your teams for now, and most of his teams as well. And down here, if you want to try to use Silverfang, you can try and do that, but it'd be a lot of team building, trying to find the most optimal thing for you. Then here, CE. Oh, not sure where that moved. But here, CE. My reasoning due to adding CE is if people start using double minion teams, you'll want CE to hit AoE or Silverfang as well. Silverfang can work as well, but CE is there to reduce the HP, and his dog following up constantly will help reduce the minions' HP, allowing theirs to pop first before yours, giving you the bigger advantage. But with Silver Fang, that can also work, but it's just a lot of investment into him. Is that the CE, his dogs are more consistent due to not you needing to ult as much. You can just use cruel follow-ups. Depending on what you choose will determine the outcome. They'll still favor hero Crow, honestly, in most of his teams. You can try villain crew, but most of these villains aren't really worth it. Here, the extreme management. If you try to pull both, it'll be quite difficult, but you can get 7 soul shards a day for 31 days. If you do 6 extreme trainings, also you get a 5-star off the bat as well. You also get an extra one. That's why I added 7, because you fuse 3 of the regular shards to get 1 extra one. But here is the math. You get a total of 217 soul shards for 31 days. But you need only 186 soul shards for 5p, leaving you with 4 days to get 28 soul shards, only getting you 3p on one character without packs. Now here with packs, you get 16 from the fun packs, which are in the mall. You can buy them for funds. You get some cores and some badges. Depends if you really want to speed this up. As well as this pack down here, the $89.99, which is quite a ripoff, but since you're pulling Gouketsu and Garou at the same time, depending if you go for A2 on both of them or on one of them, you want to try the 5p Gouketsu first. He is a better 5p than Garou's. Garou's 5p is nice, but optimally, you want Gouketsu to be first. And as well as pulling. Like if you want to pull one character, Gouketsu is the better character overall. I don't know why it's doing this, but it's alright. Also, it depends if they release double. Because if they do dual banner, it'll be kind of odd. Because they'll have to release double of each thing. So, you'll be able to buy 16 and 16. The mall and the funds. Also, they have the mystery store. You can buy 1 soul shard from there for 300 gems for 4 days, and depending how many gems you want to use to keep refreshing, or if you have the little cards, you can also do that, but it just depends on you. And for 22 days you get all 186 soul shards to 5p if you do 6 extreme trainings every day. But it can be shorter it's shorter if you buy all the packs and the mystery store as well, leaving you with 8 days for netting you. But this is just with 6 extreme trainings a day, netting you 63 soul shards, but also being able to buy a single pack, not the $89.99. Or you can just do the mystery store, allowing you to get a 4p on one character. Then next month, when Flashy Flex comes, you start working on him. You pretty much get everything, because we all know we're gonna 5p Gouketsu, then leave Garou at 4p. Doesn't matter if he's 5. It'd be nice if he's 5, but it's very unlikely, because if you try to buy the 32 pack, the 32 soul shard, you only get up to 100 soul shards in total, meaning you'll need 86 more to try to get the 5p, which is highly unlikely, and also it will not be the best route to take to Flashy Flash being next, unless it just depends on what the devs do. The devs are not very open with us anymore as it used to be, pretty much shafting global. I mean, the one nice thing they did was release Saitama Memories, which is awesome, along with the top-up event, getting ATT, some black tickets and some keepsakes, along with the Sonic event, allowing us to get a little bit more BPs, some other nice stuff. It's pretty much just for newer servers. It's not really much to complain about. If you're complaining about it, just It makes no sense. It's a new event for newer servers, not for us. Just be happy that we got something new. That's sad to say, but it's true. This is just to help you guys who are going to spend a lot and how to try to optimize it as much as possible. It's gonna cost a lot, I know that, just to get 5p Gouketsu early, along with getting 4p Garou. If you want to go 4p, you don't have to go 4p. It's just up to you. Optimally, go for 4p. You get crush rate, which is nice, and also extra stats. All you're missing from 5p is just the ability to open up the node and get the other extra stats along with the passive, which is just 10%. It's not that bad, honestly. Could be worse. Could be worse. Like Gouketsu is missing out on a lot of stats there. Well, thank you guys for making it to the end of this video. Please leave a like and subscribe. I've noticed most of you have not subscribed, and also I want to say thank you for almost getting my Saitama video memory guide to 500 views. I'm happy about that. I'm very glad. Nice to see that you guys are supporting me. Also, you can join my Discord in the description below, as well as in my front page on my channel. I'm there to provide money guides, pack values, other sorts of guides, there to answer your questions about how to spend more optimally and play the game as well optimally. Hope you guys are ready for Tuesday, the Josh Manny account review, starting at 5 p.m. EST. But on Discord, it'll show the time for your region and area, the time I'll start. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.